Self-doubt is proof of your humanity, not your inadequacy. And in today's episode, I'm going to teach you how to move from fraud to expert so you can silence your inner imposter. Hey, I'm Amanda, and welcome to the Best Damn Coach podcast, where I will teach you how to coach yourself, how to coach your clients, and how to run your coaching business. The number one goal of this show, though, is to help you be the best damn coach you can be so your clients go out and tell the world about you. So, let's do the damn thing. You guys, I am just so excited about the new things happening around here. It's been heavy on my heart to focus on connection this year inside of 2023. That's my word, my first time ever having a word, by the way. And what's happening inside of my personal life and business life by focusing on that is pretty amazing. And what I want to do is bring you into that. I've noticed after coaching hundreds of people over the years that taking action is the hardest part. We know what to do on paper. We struggle to make it happen for so many reasons. Much of it is just all the stuff that's happening inside of our brain. So I sat back and I asked myself, how can I bring together this amazing network of people I have met over the years, people that are listeners like you, people that follow social media? How can I bring you together to just help you reach your full potential and take action? And so I have decided to open up a weekly networking community focused on accountability. And it's called Do the Damn Thing. And I want you to be a part of it because I know no matter where you're at in business and life, you could absolutely use some support around being around like-minded women and doing the damn thing. So come join us every Wednesdays at noon Mountain Time. And we are going to come together and do the stuff we resist every damn week. What does that look like? That means we're going to hop on a Zoom session. I'm going to open up. I guarantee that you are going to walk away making 2 new connections every time you join us. We are going to declare what we are resisting. I'm going to give you some space to begin working on it, to dive in, and we're going to culminate with some reflection. I know that this is going to be valuable for you. Just being in the energy of other women who are wanting to take action on their dreams is so powerful. So come join us. You can sign up at amanda-walker.com/networking, all one word. When you jump onto that page, you're going to see a little button. It says sign up here to join and get the Zoom link. As soon as you click that, you'll enter your email address. And of course, we will email you back with all of the information regarding the sessions. Yes, we are doing this every single week because I want you to have an unbelievable shift in 2023 that starts with taking action. Welcome to the BDC. I am honored you are here. I hope you've been having a great week, and we're diving into a fantastic episode on a topic that I think so many of us struggle with, and that is imposter syndrome. I don't care what level you are at. I know people barely starting, people that aren't in business, people like mentors, or people that I really look up to as leaders in the entrepreneurial space and just in life. And we all share that we struggle with imposter syndrome. And today I want to help meet you where you're at, no matter what you're trying to accomplish in your life, and just say, I see you and I feel it. And it's a constant opportunity for growth. I always love the phrase. It's like next level, new devil, right? Just because when you think you've got it mastered, things change. And when we reach a new breakthrough or a new level in our life, then the imposter syndrome just takes on a new face and shape. I feel like it's like your kids when you're raising kids and you're like trying to get them in a schedule and you're like, yes, I got it mastered. Like we're in this routine. And then all of a sudden they go through this growth spurt and you're like, shoot, like it's not there anymore. And so today I'm going to walk you through 3 reasons you're experiencing imposter syndrome and what to do instead. So you feel like you can move from fraud to feeling like an expert and silence that little inner imposter. I think there's some common themes or some common words, thoughts that come up for many of us. And so this might help identify if you're unfamiliar with the phrase imposter syndrome, or if you're like, am I suffering from it? Like, how is this showing up in my life? I think some of the common thoughts sound like, I don't know enough, or I just don't have it all figured out. I'm not where I need to be. I don't have all my shit together. So how am I going to guide somebody to some sort of result? Or for coaches specifically, well, I'm not certified. I don't have enough experience, or just flat out, like, they're going to think I'm a phony. They're going to think I'm fake. Like, I don't really know what I'm talking about. When in fact, those are just thoughts. Those are not facts. Although our brain sometimes wants to believe as though they are facts, they are not facts. And so if any of that resonates with you, then this episode is for you. And I'm sure there are thoughts that you might be thinking that I didn't mention there that may also leave you feeling like an imposter. So what is specifically imposter syndrome? Well, it's when internally we are telling ourselves things that make us believe that we're undeserving of what we want in our life, that it goes against what all of the results around us say that we should experience and should have. And I want to talk about my perspectives of where imposter syndrome comes from. The first place is we have to understand how we are conditioned and how our brain works, right? We go through our life with all this information being spit at us. We take it in and we filter it through our values, through maybe religious influence in our lives, through the people that have raised us, through the culture, the environment. And so we're chronically like assessing, like, is this for me? Is this right? I'm using air quotes, right? Is this wrong? And so when all of a sudden we're being presented opportunities that we maybe never thought were meant for us or that were possible for someone like us, like those things, those are just for other people, the more talented, gifted, disciplined, then we start to really challenge our inner voice or our inner dialogue of like, but wait, like, is this success? Am I worthy of this success? Was this success meant to be mine? And now I see this all the time inside of the clients I coach. It's just simply as like that first step of putting out into the world that I am a coach and I want clients. Massive imposter syndrome comes up for all those reasons I said, right? Like, but what are they going to think about me? I'm not really who I say I am. And it keeps us honestly trapped in fear. For so many people, they never really address the imposter syndrome. And so they stay trapped, living a life, sitting on the sidelines, watching all the other people do the work and wondering like, why can't I do that? There are no unicorns. It's just some of us decide to face those fears. Some of us decide to get support. Some of us decide that enough is enough and that the pain of staying where we're at is so grave that we're willing to get to the other side of that. So today I'm going to share some specific examples that have come up recently and which inspired me to record this episode, along with some tips I have and reasons why you are specifically struggling with imposter syndrome. So if you haven't heard me speak to this before, I believe in a formula for profit that I talk and teach inside of the majority of my workshops and trainings. And that is that the way to achieve profit is three things: belief plus action plus results. And specifically, it's the results we create for our clients. When we work on those three things inside of our business, it is a recipe for success. And success in how we measure business is through profit directly, right? If we were to put measuring stick to it. But obviously, it's the impact on the lives we change, which is far greater, far more important. But how does imposter syndrome directly impact this relationship? Well, I look at it as it affects the belief line. If we are stuck in imposter syndrome and we're not doing anything to shift it, then what happens is the belief in ourself is reduced. And anytime we're playing with a formula or an equation, whatever happens to one side happens to the other, right? So if our belief goes down, then our profit comes down alongside of it. So inside the BDC, we are doing a call a month on self-coaching and belief. I had a mentor share with me before is, Amanda, there is going to be people out there way better than you charging less. And there's going to be people out there that are way crappier than you charging more. And that's simply because their belief is greater. And so we should be, in my opinion, constantly working on our self-belief in our coaching practice, but in our life for all those roles that are important for us. So I want to get into the nitty gritty of the three tips that I have around overcoming imposter syndrome. I recently did a full training on this. If you would like to purchase the replay, it's $7 if you want to go into this a little bit more. I'm just scratching the surface here of some things that I feel like will move the needle for you immediately when it comes to imposter syndrome. The first thing is this: we experience imposter syndrome because what I mentioned at the beginning, our thoughts are driving our reality. Our thoughts are creating results. And when we choose to think thoughts and be stuck in the repetition of those thoughts becoming fact in our life, then we stay stuck in whatever feeling that is. So if our thought is, I don't know enough, I'm not qualified enough, that's producing a feeling of maybe shame or frustration, then we take action from a place of shame and frustration, or fear. And when we take action from there, usually what happens is nothing happens from those places. We're in action, right? We're stuck in paralysis. I recently had a client that I want to share about because his journey was so freaking fantastic. He hired me to support him. And when it came to doing the one thing that would solve everything, which was telling the world that he was coaching, because he has really warm people in his network that were already saying, hey, coach me, I need your support. And so I assigned him the homework of going out, and from one session to the next, his job was to reach out to 5 to 10 possible clients and share that he was ready to take on clients, and also put together a Facebook post, social media post to share like he is live, let's go. And so when I checked in with him, I said, hey, how's that action coming along? And he literally said, I'm paralyzed. And so my rule in coaching and because I want my clients to have freaking results. It's an investment in time and energy for all of us. And so I want them to leave the session feeling extremely empowered and getting results by the time our time is over. And I want them to keep coming back because they know when I work with Amanda, I get what I am coming for. And so I said, hey, so you didn't do your homework. So we can either do that together here on the session while I wait, or you can reschedule your session for another week and lose another week of time without creating results. He's like, I'm ready. Let's do it now. Really, he wasn't ready. He said, I'm not ready, but I want to do the thing and I need some support. So I waited, like cheering him on while he crafted that message. And boom, immediately it was like people were like, I'm so excited. Like he had all these people cheering for him, which wasn't what he was after. It was more of a breakthrough experience for him to see that you just have to get out of your own way. And we had to do some coaching before he did that around the thought work, around all the thoughts we were thinking. And the question I kept coming to him is this one: is it true? Right? Is it true that you're not ready? Is it true you don't know enough? Is it true that you're a fraud? None of those things were true. And this is what we can do in any thoughts in our life, is question them and just ask ourselves that really powerful self-coaching question, like, is this true? And when you can say, no, it is not a fact, you notice your brain sometimes like, oh, but Amanda, it really feels factual. When we can start to see that, we understand that those are just irrational thoughts trying to keep us safe, right? Because the brain feels threatened, like this is new, this is scary, what's the world going to say and do? Then we can start to move the needle. And for him, there became really so many opportunities for clients. He started signing his first clients, making profit. And this was all within 30 days, right, of taking that messy action. Tip number 2, I think one of the reasons we also feel like a fraud or an imposter in situations is that we're not congruent with ourselves, which means we're not doing the things that we say we're going to do. I always like to say I would never ask my client to do something I wasn't doing for myself. I was working with a client who's a social media strategist, and one of the reasons we were able to discover she was really having a hard time really showing up in her business was because she actually wasn't posting on social media. She wasn't managing her own account. And yet she was telling people to do it and how impactful it would be in her business. And through like questioning, we were able to discover the reason she feels like an imposter is because she's not posting and she's asking her people to do it. So resolution came by creating a strategy for her to actually start posting. And now she felt congruent. She was like, I am doing what I was saying and I'm doing. And in fact, it actually gives me more empathy and more support to be able to provide my clients, because I can say, I totally get you. Like, this is where I was challenged too, and here's what I did to overcome it. If you're a health and fitness coach and you're not lifting the weights and eating the way you're asking your clients, right, there lacks internal congruency. And so we feel like an imposter. If you're a money coach and you're in $60,000 of debt and yet you're telling your people not to be in debt, then this is where we overlook sometimes the internal congruency necessary to be able to deliver to our clients in a big way. So the solution then is we have to really hold a mirror to ourselves and ask some of those deeper questions of, how do I put myself in a position then where I am congruent and I am teaching the things that I do in my own life? I guarantee this helps you feel like an expert because you are walking the walk and talking the talk. And I don't care what aspect of life that in is, just feels internally like you have matched your values. Tip number 3 is, again, one of the reasons we feel like a fraud is we're not taking freaking action. You're not doing the damn thing, right? By the way, this is why I created the Do the Damn Thing weekly accountability networking community. I want people to take action. I'm seeing just so much of this in the world that there's such an outpouring of information. There's no shortage of information. We're in consumption, and we're not doing the freaking thing. So first off, if you are looking for a community that's going to support you and give space for you to do this, then come join our community. You can sign up at amanda-walker.com/networking. That will take you right to our page. Every week we meet every Wednesday at noon Mountain Time. You can eat your lunch with us, do all of those things that, you want to get accomplished. I like to say we do the shit we resist every damn week. But I digress. But one of the ways that will help you feel more like an expert and less like an imposter in your life is that very thing, taking action. Action is what rewires the brain. Action is what moves the needle. Action is what produces results. And so if you're just going like 90% of the way and you're not taking action, then you feel, again, like you're not following through on the commitments to yourself. And that makes you become an outsider in the game that you're trying to play. And that's why I love to say an important part of taking action is accountability. This is why we join communities to help us be accountable. This is why we hire coaches to be accountable so that we can't hide from the very thing we want. Understand and think about the brain. The brain is in constant preservation mode. It wants to keep you safe. It feels threatened by getting out of the comfort zone. It feels threatened when you're having a conversation with a stranger. It feels threatening when you're going to go live on social media. It feels threatening when you're going to pitch yourself to somebody for a podcast, because all of that's new. It's going to stretch you in new ways. So of course the brain is like, oh, but Amanda, like it takes way less energy to stay where you're at. It's so much safer here. And I think the journey of entrepreneurship is it's challenging that from a high level view and being able to step out of your body almost and become a voyeur of your thinking and be able to rationally say like, yes, brain and body, it feels threatening to be on a podcast, but that's actually like, it makes me feel so alive and so excited when I'm able to even celebrate myself for coming this far. And I think if you look back at your journey, there's so many places that you've already overcome imposter syndrome in some capacity. Whether it was through parenting. I know I felt like an imposter when I was a first parent. I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm trying to own this. And it took a lot of repetitions, right? Over and over. And by the time I had kid number 2, it felt so much more like an expert in motherhood. And I was excited to support other people. And I think that transfers and maps across to the exact way that we often feel inside of our businesses. I hope this episode just reminds you that we are all more alike than different. And when we really pull it all away, we're just women and men trying to be better, enhance our performance, chase our dreams. And as we do that, we just keep breaking through next levels of imposter syndrome. And today's tips just help you understand why it might be happening to you and how you can overcome it. And if you want support, as always, overcoming it, I love working with clients in all capacities, whether it's in our group program, Best Damn Coach, or in a one-to-one setting. And if you want to have a discussion around like, which is better for me, Amanda, then you can visit amanda-walker.com/let's chat, LETSCHAT. That gives you direct access to my calendar and you can grab a spot. We can talk more about what's keeping you stuck and feeling like an imposter and what's the best way to help you begin to gain traction and feel like an expert and become the expert, honestly, that you are destined to be. Because I believe that every single one of us has a gift and has some sort of knowledge that somebody else needs. That's how the world works, right? If you think about early days of bartering, this is how it worked. We just traded everything that each other had and that we were good at so that we could all thrive. And now we're just looking at it differently inside the coaching, consulting, practitioner, just service-based place. And I want you to get out there and share it with the world. One of the most important things you will ever do as a coach is ask questions. So I've put together a simple go-to resource that you can have in your back pocket as a coach of 10 powerful questions I believe every coach should know. So go ahead and head on over to amanda-walker.com/questions to grab yours now.